One.
Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. This is 2 o'clock Daily News. I'm Bruce Wayne here with Samuel L. Jackson. We're reporting live from Deadwood Studios. Today's top story, the objectification of women. Is it wrong or is it right?
One.
Dumbo. Ever since the rising of Black civil rights movement, many other minority groups have also started to take actions to fight for justice, freedom, and rights. And among those groups, feminists have sought to reduce society's emphasis on women's looks and beauty and shift the emphasis on their strength and talent. Many of them firmly believe that the key part of women's oppression is due to the media images of women and women's fashion. They powerfully argued that those images and advertisements purposely objected women, presenting them as objects to be looked at rather than active, unique individuals. One special point made by the feminists noted that the media keeps on focusing on men's intelligence and capacity, while it emphasizes on women's looks only. This behavior, pointed out by the feminists, has reinforced the idea that woman is only worth what she appears to be. This is why we must change the things the way it is, said one of the activists. The feminist group further says that the objectification of women only makes women uncomfortable, but also distracts people from focusing on important issues such as equal pay for women and keep women independent of men's approval. Another activist stated, "People tend to take us less seriously just because we're women. Well, we'll prove to the world that we changed that." Feminists also shifted their attention to magazines that focuses only on women's outer beauty and fashion, such as the Advertising Age and Cosmopolitan. They stress that those magazines build up men's stereotype that it's perfectly okay to just judge a woman on her looks. The writer Marcelle Fleur described in her book that once a producer said to her that she will not last long in the journalist industry, not because she is inexperienced, but rather that her mouth looks unfunny. Such open discrimination against women based on their appearance is exactly why they too want a positive change. Well, Samuel, you can have the honor to tell the second story.
Thank you. Well, on a related story today, changes in the beauty standards. Ever since the growing advertising industries have begun to emphasize the idea that women could look beautiful only if they confirmed into those youthful, slim-waisted white women shown on their ads images, the feminist group has started to criticize such unjust believers. They announced that the unjust and narrow standards of beauty not only damage girls' self-esteem and body image, but also make them perpetually concerned with their looks. One feminist said that the standards set by advertising industry are clearly immoral and should be abolished. Furthermore, women of color stated that the advertisements are racist because they encourage the minorities to try to look white. But oftentimes, those colored minorities were completely ignored in advertisements. However, due to the effective influence inspired by the women's movement, many women began to examine and protest their role as sex objects and to reject female stereotypes to create new, diverse standards of beauty. Those changes can be seen in everyday behaviors of women, such as less wearing of makeup, showing of their natural hairs, and expressing pride in their individual appearance. In addition, women athletes emerged as admirable examples of women's strength. The women's movement also successfully presented alternative images of women. One magazine, The Mist, totally focused on women's intellectual and health concerns and encouraged women to redefine beauty. A woman who wrote to Mist said, "A makeup is just a mask. A woman's true beauty lies within her soul." The hard working of the feminists have not failed them. They raised women's consciousness to consider for themselves who made them feel good and what beauty meant to them. Those powerful and positive images would, no doubt, lead to more powerful and positive women.
Well, Samuel, this is indeed unprecedented event. I hope they can successfully achieve their goals. After all, we're living in a completely different era.
I agree, Bruce. We now go live to Jackie Chan, who's reporting live outside of the American Beauty Pageant.
Go.
This is Jackie Chan. We're just outside of Miss American pageant, where we are just so lucky to happen to catch an interview with Big Bertha, who, like many others, is protesting the pageant. So, Big Bertha, why are you protesting the pageant?
We, I mean the women of the NYRW, do not like what these pageants represent.
Oh yeah? And what might that be?
That women are just objects to be looked at and judged.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, miss, but those pageants have been running for so long. Surely you don't think just by making one protest, there's going to be a complete shutdown of those pageants?
We're not asking for much. All we want is to be respected and deserved for our talents, not for society's messed up way of beauty.
Ah, I see. That sounds very noble of you girls. But how do you plan to make this change, and what are you doing in your protest?
We are throwing girdles, bras, curlers, beauty magazines into the trash to show our disgust with these so-called pageants.
Are pageants really that bad? I mean, I don't see why you're so offended by them.
Women aren't being taken seriously. These pageants just dress up women for other amusements like animals and sorts.
I think you're being a little extreme, aren't you? Don't you think that you might be exaggerating a little bit?
No, if you were a girl, you'd feel the same. We are not objects, you know.
Well, you're sure lucky you're pretty. All I said is flap some dancing to you.
How dare you say such a prejudiced comment? This is exactly why we're protesting these pageants. You're such an ignorant pig.
Well, excuse me, miss, but you ain't got nothing besides your face.
Oh, and you think these pageant girls are so great? Some of them didn't even graduate high school. Is that what you want representing your country?
Guess you're right. I'm sorry I misjudged you.
You're such a typical guy, judging on looks and whatnot.
Alright, this interview's over.
Sounds good to me.
Whatever. Wow, that is one rude reporter. I feel so sorry for Big Bertha.
Yeah, I agree. She's really ignorant.
Well, America, thank you for watching us.
For me and Bruce, we'll see you next time here on Daily News.
Good job.